Welcome to Salad with a Side of Fries. I'm your host, Jenn Trepeck, talking wellness and weight loss for real life. We're here to clear up the myths, misinformation, bad science, and marketing to teach you how to eat and how to cheat. Are you ready? I'm having salad with a side of fries. This week, we're talking about your face. And you're like, what? I hear you. And by the way, it kind of makes me laugh when I say it that way, but specifically your face when you exercise, like the faces that you make when you work out. And I learned this from my colleague, Dr. Millie. So shout out to Dr. Millie Lytle. So anyway, the question is, what expression is on your face when you're moving your body? Because our facial expressions send signals to the nervous system. So this happens through what's called cranial nerve 7. It's the facial nerve, the amygdala, and the mid-cingulate cortex. So these are all parts of the brain and the nervous system, that nerve. And I think, we don't have to understand all the inner workings of the biology to experience this. What we do need to know is that what's happening on your face is communicating with the autonomic nervous system. Now, the autonomic nervous system includes both the sympathetic nervous system, our fight or flight, and the parasympathetic, that rest and digest. So if your face shows struggle, maybe we're clenching the jaw, squinting our eyes, these are signs of danger to the body. They can actually increase cortisol and potentially even create more fatigue. And the interesting thing is so many of us, our movement and our exercise is part of how we move through that stress response, how we relieve the stress from our physical body. And so it's possible that we're exacerbating the situation or not necessarily getting as much of the benefit as we could if we're always, clenching the jaw and sending those struggle signals. Now, on the other hand, smiling or even laughing while you exercise sends signals of safety. They release dopamine and endorphins. And what we also know about the brain is that what fires together wires together. So if we can smile more often while we exercise, we are more likely for the brain to program the exercise as joy and reward. So I offer this as a special shout out to anyone who has ever said they loathe exercise or they do it, but they hate it, right? I wonder what would happen if you figured out a way to smile or laugh while you do it. And I think it makes the argument too for finding a type of exercise or activity that you enjoy. And for me, it's why I love group fitness. So this happened the other day, actually. I was standing with people I know in a workout class, and we laughed throughout the class. We made jokes with the teacher. We found things to enjoy. Maybe it was bopping our heads to the music or, just laughing and making jokes, even especially at the moments that were extraordinarily challenging. Now, full disclosure, it did kind of make me wonder, what kind of facial expression is it when you roll your eyes? Because I have been known to do this in class. All my fitness instructors, I love you, and I do this. And I do it with love. And I will say, I guess I usually laugh when I roll my eyes. So maybe it's part of the positive side. I don't know. But I think it's worth taking note. And I think we can use our facial expressions as feedback to help us find our pace with different movement. So there may be times when we want to push and struggle and, have that kind of an experience. And there are times when we want to find the laughter and the joy. And maybe this helps guide us toward the kind of movement that we gravitate to in 2026. So VJ, what do you think? Anything you want to add?
This is great advice. I do love exercise, but I don't love running, but I do like to challenge myself. So I started doing a couple of half marathons. I can't even believe I managed to do it, but I heard this tip. So when I'm running and I'm finding it hard, I smile. And honestly, it works.
It's funny. I think this is very common with runners. And I feel like running makes me feel like I'm going to die. So maybe this is what I've been missing.
Yeah, honestly, it has been helping me, but I'm on a break now. So but yeah, I find like the way that your face feels and when you smile, it changes everything, doesn't it?
Absolutely. So let's think about our face when we exercise and move our bodies. Well, as always, everybody, I'm your host, Jenn Trepeck. Connect with me on Instagram or all social media. I am at Jenn Trepeck, JENNTREPECK. Website is asaladwithasideoffries.com. Pick your platform, send a message. I love hearing from you, your takeaways, your ideas, your questions. This is also the easiest way to learn more about working with me as your health coach. VJ Hamilton, thank you again for joining us this week.
Yeah, thank you so much. It's been brilliant. I've loved being here.
Well, likewise. And friends, if you are not already a member, join us in the Happy Healthy Hub. You'll go to asaladwithasideoffries.com/membership. This shows your support for this podcast, this community, and above all, your health. On top of this week's episode in full video with behind the scenes content, your 24/7 Ask Me Anything. You'll get this week's recipe for the gingery chicken and spinach stir fry and the autoimmune recovery plan from this week's featured guest, VJ Hamilton. Well, friends, that's it for today's episode of Salad with a Side of Fries. Congratulations for making yourself and your health a priority. Thanks so much for joining us. Be sure to click subscribe or follow on your favorite podcast platform, share us with a friend, and we'll be back next week. Always remember, you deserve it and you are worth it. Happy healthy.